Liberia. And good afternoon, all of you finding yourselves into the borders of Liberia. This is the People's Program. The program comes away Monday to Friday. Today's Thursday, the 18th day of March 2021. It's a pleasant welcome to all of you onto our online page. Thank you so much for always. But don't forget, the geometry of the whole must be kept high onto the agenda because it involves the majority. And those that come with equity must come with clean hands. On today, Thursday, the 18th of March 2021, I am your humble servant. My name is NATHANIEL, the Varsunian with exquisite delight. I would love to say a pleasant welcome to all of you on to this edition of the program. There are a lot of things happening to Liberia. Thank you so much for always joining us. And this is the platform that brings you up to speed to all of those issues. There are a lot of issues to talk with town. Just imagine a sad day for those in the Tanzania. A sad day. They have lost their president, John Magufuli. He died at the age of 61. A sad day. We say our condolences to all of those Tanzanians, those in Tanzania and outside Tanzania. We say never mind. The woman said to become Tanzania's first female president up, the vice president of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, is said to be sworn in as the first female president. And as the date is set on for the Zulu King burial, as mourners pay tribute at the memorial, and this is an all-male burial. We will follow that in South Africa. And today on our Hard Talk segment, you are aware, just last week we talked about this issue of wetland issue, the battlefield of wetland, and along the police academy area, with this ultimatum given them to be removed within 30 days, an ultimatum given the people who have constructed issues around the police academy area, and the Environmental Protection Agency. The boss, that is the executive director, Wilson K. Tope, Professor Wilson K. Tope, he has now come up to justify it, and the plan demolition structures are being built into the wetland area around the Police Academy Junction along the SKD Boulevard in Painesville City outside Monrovia. We'll talk about that this afternoon. What are the laws on this thing? What are the laws? What the laws have said, and what are the issues in the book? And now the director said people along that area should be given 30 days to be removed. Or those who build a structure there, those structures will be demolished. Demolition exercises are actually underway. What have been the awareness of? We hope to talk about that on our Hard Talk segment this afternoon, and also inform those in that area that the time, the clock is ticking. You got to move. Let's now cross into Liberia to bring a development coming up. And don't forget, on to our program today, the history is a regular future, bringing to date happenings in dates, centuries, decades ago in history, what has happened on a date-to-date basis. We hope to bring that to you on today. And today, let's now cross to our first development. Up have women celebrated their successful fundraiser on more than 10,000 United States dollars to support the legal battle of Botokane and Eden Gongo, where just imagine they were looking for 5,000 United States dollars for Botokane to push her case at the Supreme Court, but now they have raised more than 10,000 United States dollars. And on the still development coming up, the fundraising on the first day was able to raise about 5,376 United States dollars and 17,260 Liberian dollars, both on mobile money in cash. On the second engagement with a different destination, they have raised about 4,550.65 United States dollars, while they are yet to tally the previous amount generated on the last day, as more money are coming in according to reports. Women are now coming together. As a matter of fact, be aware that Madam Edith Gogno were into an interview during a rally to describe the actions of the National Elections Commission towards the electoral cases as undermining the democracy of Liberia. And more on that, you just go there and check it out to get a full detail coming up for you. And let's cross on into the final argument. A defense has said witness error has undermined against Aliu Corsia. Into the Belizona and Switzerland, the defense team of Aliu Corsia has pointed to errors and contradiction between stories witnesses told the Swiss investigator into the war crimes case, and the testimony they have given into the court rather said the inconsistency has undermined the case against their client, and the Swiss Federal Criminal Court should acquit the client. And today, demarcated Gianoli, the court scene that is Aliu Corsia, main lawyer, has told the court the stories of 7 Liberians that focus on the crime allegedly committed in Lufa County by Corsia and the Ulimo rebel under his command was different from what they told investigators in the case into the Swiss capital city of Bern in 2014. And moreover, the witnesses did not agree with each other. Gianoli, the lawyer of Aliu Corsia, sought to minimize any damage caused by Corsia's outburst in earlier proceedings that disrupted the court and risks giving the impression that he still believed he could intimidate people to follow his will. More on that, just go there and check it out to get the full detail coming for you on today's program. At least 12 inmates have escaped from the Banga Central Prison following a jailbreak on Wednesday morning. Yesterday, the rehabilitation officers has confirmed to a Bob County correspondent that 70 inmates were into the cell that got broken, but 12 of them escaped while the remaining 5 are still in custody. The Bob County Attorney General Jonathan Former also told a local news outlet that 12 inmates were all pre-trial detainees. And Jonathan Flomot said that the inmates were all high court criminals that were placed behind bars following police preliminary investigation into the country and series of crimes committed. Anthony Flomot told reporters on yesterday, that is Wednesday, the jailbreak at the Banga Central Prison is a major threat to citizens of Banga and the county at large. For more on that, just go there and check it out to get the full detail coming for you. Let's cross on this afternoon. I'm looking at the Lutheran Church on 14th Street. I'm looking at church about today. News coming out said the federal judge into the United States Court in Philadelphia is considering evidence into the infamous massacre of over 600 civilians at the Lutheran Church during the brutal Civil War year in Liberia, July of 1990. In a case brought before the court by the Center for Justice and Accountability, the CJA, on behalf of survivors, the victims have accused Forces lawyer to sling President Doe, former president of Liberia, has been responsible for the massacre. On Tuesday, the 16th of 2021, the court submitted close to 2,000 pages of evidence seeking to prove that a former elite unit of the armed forces of Liberia perpetrated the massacres at the Lutheran Church. The brief filed with the court alleges that on the 29th of July 1990, Moses Thomas, as commander of the AFL Special Anti-Terrorist Unit, directed his troop to attack the St. Peter's Lutheran Church, which has been recorded as one of the largest massacres. But at the time, the church served as a shelter hosting nearly 2,000 civilians seeking refuge from the growing violence into the country. Thomas and his troop, according to the court document, stormed the church despite its protective status under international humanitarian law, shooting and hiking to death approximately 600 unarmed civilians. The evidence presented on Tuesday also include detailed testimonies from eyewitnesses and expert reports from the former Deputy Chief of Mission at the United States Embassy here and declassified United States Embassy and the CIA cables. Elizabeth Nelson, counsel at the TV Voice, and the plaintiff representing the plaintiff, note, "We believe that today court filing presents conclusive evidence that Thomas was responsible for the Lutheran Church massacre, and we are asking the court to hold Thomas liable for extrajudicial killing, torture, war crimes, and crimes against humanity." Another case again opened on another Liberian. And this time around, it's all affairs pointing fingers at the former AFL soldier, Moses Thomas, who was a commander of the AFL Special Code Terrorist Unit. He's been accused this time around. Let's cross on to this development coming up on the 212th birth anniversary celebration of Liberia's first President Joseph Jenkins Robert on the 15th of March 2021 at the First United Baptist Methodist, that is United Methodist Church on Asma Street. Monrovia witnessed the recognition of 27 graduates of the J.J. Roberts International, that is J.J. Robert Educational Foundation. The chairperson of the Board of Trustees of the Foundation, Sister Tanya G. Brosen, who performed the recognition award ceremony, paid tribute to graduates as Maurice Masale, who acquired a BBA in accounting, Bernard W. Lloyd, a BA in sociology, from the African Methodist Episcopal University, the AMEU, Lilai and Clark Bachelor of Science in Public Health, Units K Feedback, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Chester Mamba, Bachelor of Science in Biology, Martin Nimlin, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Lofty Willie, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, David Hector Zodwa, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and Jodiah M. Zoba, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and Promise M. Freeman, Bachelor of Science in Nursing from the Adventist University of West Africa, the EU, DNE, respectively. Meanwhile, the principal of the J.J. Roberts High School has called on the Board of Trustees of the J.J. Roberts Educational Foundation to revisit scholarship because some of the beneficiaries are not performing in line with the criteria set by the foundation. The Liberia Premier Democracy Advancement Institute, NAMOD, a partner for democratic development, strongly condemned the arson attacks, petrol bombs on the National Elections Commission and home of Associate Justice Joseph Nangwe by unknown men. The institution is calling on all political leaders and Liberians to be conflict sensitive, respect the law, the rule of law, to promote peace and prevent violence. The recent wave of throwing petrol bombs is dangerous and worrisome, especially in the post-conflict society, and has the propensity to undermine the democratic process, peace, and the gain the country has made over the years. The Ministry of Education and Civil Service Agency are in total disagreement over the retirement of 2,402 public school teachers across the country without replacement, which is negatively impacting the educational system. Appearing on the Liberian Senate Tuesday, the Minister of Education, Professor Alpha Soni, and the Director of Civil Service Agency, James Thompson, could not agree how the retirement was carried out. But the Civil Service Director, Joseph Thompson, counters that when they generated the retirement data for public school teachers, it was shared with the Minister of Education for its input before executing the process. But on the other hand, Education Minister Alpha Soni told senators that the CSA sent a list of teachers after they have been retired and not for import. The names that came to us are those people that have already been retired by the CSA, according to the Minister of Education. The National Security Agency to investigate the Lufa County Representative Francis Yimali over the threat to the presidency. The Lufa County District Representative Francis Yimali, who had been talking his condemnation of the delay into the certification of Mr. J. Brian Samukai, a senator of Lufa County, has been invited by the National Security Agency for questioning on his recent statements considered a threat against the presidency, vice presidency, and other high-ranking positions. The Representative Yimali's statement is apparently not being taken lightly by the National Security Agency, especially into the wake of two recent arson attacks on the home of Justice Joseph Nangwe of the Supreme Court and the headquarters of the National Elections Commission. The former National Elections Commission chairperson expressed this disappointment in the unprecedented delay associated with the conclusion of the 2020 special senatorial election. And the Liberian Senate has condemned the act of violence melted on the headquarters of the National Elections Commission on 9th Street, saying Associate Justice Joseph Nangwe into the brothel by unknown individuals. According to the Senate, the throwing of petrol bombs and other lethal objects in recent times at the home of Associate Justice Nangwe and the National Elections Commission is an attack on democracy and is totally unacceptable. And finally today, Bakpulu election has sparked battle at the Supreme Court. The Chief Justice, Francis Kokpo, rejected Police Chief Inspector General Konopatrick Sulu's statement. The Liberian Chief Justice, the justice system is causing problem, and the duplication of inspection is also troubling as a businessman lament a Liberian business owner, a Marcy Water Enterprise, a mineral water producing company. Now the duplication of inspection is troubling for the country and is wondering which one is legally responsible to conduct inspection. Also, thanks to all of you joining us on our online page this afternoon. Thank you so much for always joining us. Elisha Jason Bidna joined the platform and said, good afternoon, thanks for the update and major happenings around the world. And today, Maurice Musa Japate, also watching live for Coco Town in resident, said, thank you for the show. I'm Maurice Japate. And George Demusito says, good afternoon. And all listening audience, thanks for always keeping our country well liable informed and follow you from Nizo community. Dao Koli Efanso is joining the program. He's watching live from Simeco headquarters. Augustine Bardo says, good afternoon. I'm watching from Nabu Town community. Thanks. Benjamin Bala also watching live. He said, I'm watching from Lufa County District 4. Thank you so much, Benjamin Bala, for always joining us, and we invite you to always join us. And Tatos Tumbe is there at the Cowfield Last Junction under the palm tree. He said, I'm watching. And Nathaniel P. Maximo said, good afternoon. Hello, Mr. Va. I'm watching you from my home. Thanks for the show. Thank you so much. Maxwell Samuel Gawi says, good afternoon. My name is Maxwell Samuel Gawi, EFL Bo. I'm watching you from my SKD community. Thanks for that. You make my day great again today. Thank you so much, Maxwell. Lost in Augustine Sagacious Wisdom says, good afternoon. I joined the fascinating conversation from my new residence in Carwell. Mr. President, house need to be removed. Oh my God. Okay. Ellis J. Kai says, good afternoon, Mr. Farr. My name is Ellis God Give J. Kai, watching you from the commercial hub of Realite. And today, Moses Tibor Flamora Kali, Flamora Flomo says, I'm watching you closely from Copper Farm. Thank you so much. Dominic Moneybanks, I'm watching from Freeport of Monrovia. And Diamond Demodowski passed away. Said, I'm watching live. My name is Diamond Demodowski, passed away, watching from my comfort zone in Dupont Road, First Calview Junction. Union Miller, regular viewers, live on our program there at GSN Road. Kissy Cam is watching live. Thank you so much. A. Andrew Demi Pay says, good afternoon. My name is D. Andrew Demi Pay the third. I'm watching the township of Kawa. Thank you so much. And Mohammed Jallo said, I'm watching you live this afternoon from Painesville Pipeline. And Munan and Satikar Clark says, good afternoon, Mr. Var. Thank you so much. Jefferson and City Jala T says, good afternoon, JNV. Good afternoon to the people of Motherland. I'm following you from my Temple of Justice office in the Republic of Liberia. Thank you for always joining us. Moses Kapa, that is Paka. Moses Paka joins from ELW Junction. Elijah Jason Bidnat also watching live. Thanks. He said, thank you so much for always joining us. Let's now cross outside Liberia on the African scenes in Africa. Africa is morning. Tanzania President John Magufuli. The President of Tanzania, John Magufuli, was born in 1959 into the northwestern Tanzania, and he was elected as a member of the parliament for his first time in 1995. And in 2000, he was appointed to the cabinet for the first time as Minister of Works. In 2015, he was elected as president for his first term. In 2020, elected for the second term as president. On the 5th of November 2020, he was sworn for the second term in office. In March 6, 2021, he was admitted to the Jakaya Kikwete Cardio Institute for cardiovascular problem. On the 7th of March 2021, Roman began to speculate about his whereabouts after a week-long absence. On March 11, 2021, various opposition parties in Tanzania wanted to know the whereabouts of the president. On the 12th of March 2021, the Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa denies the President Magufuli is ill and said he is in good health and working. The Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa was criticized for such a comment. On the 14th of March 2021, he was rushed to the Mazina Hospital in Dar es Salaam for further treatment. On the 15th of 2021, Vice President Samia Suluhu gave Tanzania greetings from the President Magufuli amid growing fears about his condition and whereabouts. On the 17th of March 2021, John Magufuli died at about 18 o'clock local time. On the 21st, and it's 2021, the 17th of March, the Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan announces on television the death of the President John Magufuli. 14 days of mourning has been declared into the country, Tanzania. 14 days of national mourning has been declared in Tanzania to mark the death of their President John Magufuli, who died at the age of 61. The Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan said Mr. Magufuli has died from complications related to a heart condition. The Tanzanian opposition leader Tundu Lissu has said President John Magufuli's death has offered an opportunity to chart a new course and step back for the brink of disaster. Speaking on the BBC on Thursday, Mr. Lindsay said Magufuli, politics, policies, and COVID denialism had driven the country toward disaster. Earlier on, Mr. Lindsay told Kenya private television station that the President Magufuli death had not caused a surprise to him. Mr. Lindsay, who lived in exile in Belgium, said he has known that Magufuli was gravely ill all along since he tweeted on the 7th of March asking about the whereabouts of the president. The Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta said he learned with profound sorrow and sadness the death of Tanzanian President John Magufuli. He has conveyed his condolence to widow Janet Magufuli, the people, and the government of Tanzania. President Kenyatta said Magufuli was a companion of Pan-Africanists. And as Tanzania is mourning up the sitting president for the first time in history, follows the death of President John Magufuli. According to the Constitution, Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan will be sworn in as the new president and should serve the remainder of Magufuli's 5-year term, which he began last year. Ms. Hassan will be the 6th president of Tanzania and the second from the country's semi-autonomous island of Zanzibar. After taking oath of office, she will consult with her ruling CCM party to nominate a vice president. According to the Constitution, since she hails from the Zanzibar area, her deputy is required to come from the mainland. And today, Thursday, South Africa President Cyril Ramaphosa has paid tribute to the Zulu King Goodwill, the Ziwatini at a memorial held after 71 years old was buried at the private ceremony in the early hours of Thursday today. A huge tree has fallen, according to the President Ramaphosa. The moral courage was one of his noblest virtues. The President of South Africa gave the Eagle Lodge in a white tent erected outside one of the palaces of the king into a small town of the Niguba into the KwaZulu-Natal. The palace has been behaves of activities and mourners streaming in to pay their respect, according to the report. The burial ceremony was attended by the selected group of royal men. The secrecy around the burial is part of honoring the monarch. It is not yet clear who will succeed the King Zuluwatini. That is a closely guarded secret, in part of the future king's safety, but also in relevance to the movement at hand. People at the memorial said they were clear on the kind of king they want: a visionary, a straight talker, someone who will honor their culture and set it as a guiding light for the future generation, like King Zuluwatini. And after the death of John Magufuli, pundits well-meaning Tanzanians are wondering about the woman who is set to become the first female president of Tanzania. The Tanzanian Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan is set to be sworn in as the new president and will serve the remainder of the President John Magufuli's second 5-year term, which he began last year. Ms. Hassan rose to prominence in 2014 as the deputy chairperson of the Constituent Assembly mandated to lead the drafting of a new constitution. A year later, she became the running mate of the ruling CCM party presidential candidate John Magufuli. On the campaign trail, she reportedly asked a team of musicians who were accompanying her to call her mama or mother. Politicians who have worked with her speak of a leadership potential that Tanzania has not had the opportunity to see. And others in Tanzania have described her as a brave and unwavering politician. She visited opposition leader Tundu Lissu in the hospital after he survived an assassination attempt in September 2017 into the capital, Dodoma. Ms. Hassan is married to Hafed Amira, and they have 4 children. And today, Burundi President Evariste Ndayishimiye has described Tanzania leader John Magufuli, who had died at the age of 61, as a great leader and a true Pan-Africanist. And a retired school teacher, Kasara Naku, has been reminiscing about his former schoolmate, John Magufuli, president of Tanzania, who died at the age of 61. Mr. Magufuli has a master's and doctorate in chemistry and once worked as a science and math teacher. He became member of the parliament in 1995 and rose to the presidency in 2015. And thanks all of you joining us onto our online page this afternoon. Thompson said, good afternoon, Nathaniel. I'm Thompson from Partnersville, Keba. I'm watching you from my Partnersville, Keba residence. I just want to appreciate you for the betterment of the country of my Liberia. Thank you so much, Thompson. Nyonon King Zulu II says, good afternoon, Brother Nat. Thanks for keeping us informed about the happening onto a day-to-day basis. Let's now cross outside Africa. Let's now cross to the development of the wife of Kobe Bryant and his, after they lost their life, along with 13-year-old daughter, and 7 others died when a helicopter crashed in California last year. The widow of Kobe Bryant has published the name of Los Angeles police officer who she said shared graphic photo of the scenes of her husband's body into a helicopter crashed last year. Vanessa Bryant is suing the police department for negligence and invasion of the privacy. We will refrain from trying this case in the media, the Los Angeles police chief said in a response. The basketball star Kobe Bryant died with his daughter and 7 others into a crash. On Wednesday, Vanessa Bryant, 38, posted on Instagram the names of 4 police officers. She said they took a graphic photo of the 9 people who died into the crash close to the Calabasas, California, in January last year. She alleges that one of the officers shared with the bartender photos of Kobe Bryant's body, and others distributed generous photos to the dead of the dead children, parents, and coaches. The Los Angeles Times reported in February last year that an internal police investigation found officers share photo of victim remains. The Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte party have won the most seats into the parliamentary election. A projection shown a victory hints of Mr. Rutte amended to form a new coalition government led by his central right, the VVD party, with the fourth term as Prime Minister. His last government resigned in January over the child welfare fraud schemes scandal. While his party was set to win 35 out of 150 seats, the central left D66 was the other big winner of the night with 24 seats. The voters of the Netherlands has given his party an all-women vote of confidence, according to Mr. Rutte, as he told reporters. Let's now cross Australia today as a sex content app proposal has sparked a backlash. Australians have derided its subjection by the New South Wales, the NSW police commander, or the commissioner, that an app could be used to register sex consent. On Thursday, Mark Fowler championed the idea of an app where people who digitally record their mutual agreement to have sex. He said that the technology can be used to establish positive consent, but many people have criticized the proposal as short-sighted and potentially open to abuse. Concerns have also been raised about whether it could be used for state surveillance. In recent weeks, Australians have reignited a national discussion about sexual assault, abuse, and harassment of women. On Monday this week, tens of thousands of people around the world marched in protest. The NSW police, in introducing an app idea on Thursday today, said it was aimed at normalizing the act of seeking explicit consent. Let's now cross the United States and Canada as the Atlanta shooting suspect charged with murder as victims is being identified. A man has been charged with murder over the killing of 8 people at the massage parlors in Atlanta, Georgia. Officials cannot yet confirm if the attack, in which 6 Asian women were killed, was racially motivated. 4 victims were named on Wednesday yesterday, and the suspect, named as Robert Aaron Long, faces multiple counts of murder as well as aggravated assault. The Cherokee County Sheriff Frank Reynold said that the suspect may have been a patron and claimed to have been a sex addiction. 4 of the victims have been identified as Ashley Ua, 33, Paul Andrew, Micah, 54, Xiaojin Tang, 49, and Dao Yu Feng, 46, that's 44, and Elkasia Our Hernandez, all tax was identified as having been injured into the process. The former president of the United States, Donald Trump, net worth dropped by about 700 million United States dollars or 2.3 billion euros, according to reports. About 1.65 billion is also expected today during his time as president, according to the Bloomberg Billionaire Index. The COVID-19 pandemic hit his fortune hard with Mr. Trump office building Bennett hotels and resorts losing annual and falling in value. His fleet of planes and golf courses have also seen drops into the value. The Bloomberg analysts a financial document and other filings from May 2016 and January 2021 to calculate Mr. Trump's worth before and after he became the United States president. Mr. Trump's commercial real estate accounts for about three-quarters of his net worth. The office tower he owns or co-own have seen a big drops in valuation as more people work from home, and trend that could last in the long term. The Bloomberg, which provides financial news and data, estimate a 26% drop into the value of his main commercial property holding. He also owned, manages, or lessens his name to about a dozen hotels and resorts, plus 19 golf courses. Almost, although golf courses have become popular during the pandemic as a socially distanced outdoor sports, Mr. Trump, two courses in Scotland, has consistently lost money. Filing shows. Thanks so much. Let's now cross over to today's in history, bringing to date happenings centuries and decades ago in history. Today's in history is a regular future. Good afternoon. It's a pleasant welcome. And today, March 18, the first man to walk in space happened in 1965. The Soviet cosmonaut known as Lieutenant Colonel Alexei Leonov exited the spacecraft. The Vox showed two from a short span. He completed a somersault and then proceeded to take pictures of space. This took place just days before the United States planned to launch its first two-man spaceship and becomes the first man to walk in space in 1965, March 18. And today in 1922, Mohandas K. Gandhi, a British educator lawyer, was sentenced to prison in India for civic disobedience after calling for mass civic disobedience, which included boycotting the British educational institutions and the law court, now working for the British control government in the boycott of foreign-made goods, especially British goods. In his many speeches, he always emphasized that the use of violence of both sides were wrong. He was sentenced to 6 years, but was released after 2 years today in 1922. Today in 1969, that is the USB.52 bomber attacked suspected communist base camps and supplied area into the Cambodia for the first time in a war in 1969. And today, England Mary Whitehouse, the British moral decency in public campaigner, Mary Whitehouse has her private prosecutor against director Michael Bogdanov over the play Romance in the Britain in 1982 in history. And also today, in 2008, the United States interest rate and the Federal Reserve continued to slash interest rates when it cut 8 federal funds target rate by 75 basis points of 2.25%, its lowest level since December 2004, March 18, 2008. And finally today in Thailand, the Thailand announced state of emergency ended. Thailand has announced it will end a state of emergency that was put in place over the anti-government protest in January. The Internal Security Act will replace the emergency decree after anti-government protests eased down following weeks of disruption in 2014 in history, March 18. Thanks so much for following us on today's edition of the program. Today's in history is directly of future. Let's now take our break in Liberia and welcome our Heart Talk segment. It's a pleasant welcome. My name is Nathaniel.